Hello everyone, and welcome to Mr. Simplifies Tutorials. In this video we're going to look at Hackman and Oldham's job characteristics, which is actually a part of the Hackman and Oldham model. Now, what is the Hackman and Oldham model used for? Now, human resource management in an organization has the responsibility of designing jobs or tasks in such a way that the objectives of the organization are fulfilled and the people holding these jobs are also satisfied. The way a job or a task is defined has an impact on employee efficiency, motivation, and satisfaction. Now, when changes are introduced in organizations, job profiles sometimes need to change as well. Or job profiles can just be changed to further enhance employee satisfaction and thereby influence positively the output produced by employees. And when it comes to job or task redesign, one of the approaches used is the Hackman and Oldham job characteristics model. Okay, and what are the actual job characteristics that we're going to look at in this video? Now, one of the foundations of their model is that the type of work itself is key to employee motivation. So essentially, employee motivation depends heavily on the type of work and how certain processes in the organization are structured around their work. And based on research conducted by Hackman and Oldham, they came up with 5 job characteristics that can actually lead to job satisfaction. And it's these characteristics that we're going to look at. Now let's look at the characteristics. So they are skill variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and feedback. So a combination of these characteristics will lead to job satisfaction. Now let's look at skill variety. A task or job basically should require a variety of different activities in terms of carrying out the work, which would actually need the use of a number of different skills and talents of the person. As easy as that. It is therefore important for a person to often be given a variety of task types and not just one task type. Essentially, the onus is to try and make the job as less monotonous as possible. Now let's look at an example. Let's presume Barney has a job of stocking up in a supermarket. To mix things up a little bit, he should ideally be asked to handle the till or handle a specialized section in the market, so that requires some special skills, some special knowledge, or some extended amount of customer interaction. Now let's look at the second characteristic, which is task identity. This implies the completeness of a job from start to finish. The identity of the job, really. This essentially means that tasks assigned need to actually have defined starts and ends, ensuring that the worker derives the satisfaction of completing the job at the end of the day. Now let's look at an example to explain this further. Let's presume Alex is a content designer for a media company, and her primary task, her primary job is to write articles for blogs used in the company's social media campaigns. Now let's see if she's assigned a specific task of drafting content for a couple of sections of the monthly newsletter that the company sends out. Obviously, newsletters normally need to be sent before a deadline. So she essentially will, in the course of producing this content, have the satisfaction of actually knowing when the task will end, and therefore she will approach it in a very systematic manner, complete the task and derive the satisfaction of doing something different and doing something within a time constraint required. Okay, now the third type is task significance. This is the degree to which a job has a substantial impact on the lives of other people, whether those people are in the immediate organization that we're talking about or in the world, really. So you see, human beings want to achieve things. They want to look at things outside of their own life sometimes and look at how they're impacting the lives of other people. A higher level of impact would mean higher recognition for the person completing the job and higher satisfaction. So ultimately, if the person thinks that he or she is having a higher impact on the world, on the lives of other people, then there is a high level of task satisfaction. Now let's look at an example. Mark works as a vehicle testing engineer in a car manufacturing facility. On a regular basis, he essentially drives cars and identifies problems with the handling and control. It's obviously a very technical job, but it's also very important to convey to Mark that the potent that he's actually saving the world in a way, because he's actually identifying potential problems in cars, which can actually, if left undetected, can lead to accidents and disasters. So by detecting vehicular flaws, which would probably otherwise go undetected, he is actually saving lives. Okay, now the next type is autonomy. This is the extent to which the task provides independence and freedom to the worker in terms of scheduling and the procedures used to complete the work. Okay, so a degree of autonomy is always valued by individuals. It's quite obvious, and it's quite well known. Now, autonomy can sometimes be difficult to implement in larger organizations. Larger organizations have various hierarchies of people, and most of the times require people with very specific skill sets to perform specific tasks. But the amount of autonomy a worker is provided, the higher the sense of responsibility will be. For example, let's presume that Gordon is a relatively new employee in a law firm and has completed his training. Now, if he's actually provided the autonomy to complete cases which are relatively straightforward, from start to finish, his growth, learning, and satisfaction will almost obviously be higher. Okay, now the last type is feedback. Now this relates to the degree to which an employee is kept in the loop with regards to his or her performance. Now, if employees are told that they're doing a good job, then their morale will be boosted, obviously. And if they are told about the areas for improvement that they can actually focus on in a positive way, then there will be a motivation for the employee to improve himself or herself. Now let's look at an example. Let's consider Adrian to be a new recruit in the armed forces. Now, continual feedback in terms of how his aim has improved, for example, about needing better skills at using cover. So continual feedback will ensure that there is skill development, and more importantly, there is a clear understanding of where he's heading and job satisfaction. Okay, so that was relatively easy, and I hope that was simplified further for you. I thank you very much for your attendance, and as always, like this video, support and the content in this channel by sharing, and thank you once again for your attendance, and have a great day, evening, night, whatever. Thank you very much.